Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Joshua coming to you live once again. Mic check, mic check. Making sure y'all can hear me okay. All right, I'm gonna give a few minutes for some of you all to enter into the chat. Okay. And I prepared a lesson today always to keep us steadfast and focused. Right. I know I say this a lot, but with all seriousness, I'm probably not gonna hold you very long today. I don't have very many precepts for you today, but it's still, I would say, a very significant lesson prepared. Nevertheless, all praise to the Most High. And the title of the day's lesson is "Stand Thou Still." Right, and I want to go ahead and make a disclaimer ahead of time. All right, E, put something in the chat for me so I can make sure you hear. I want to go ahead and make this disclaimer ahead of time. All right. Being still, right, doesn't mean just doing nothing. Right. Sometimes it means that, sometimes it don't. But in the reference, what we're referring to, bit fast. The reference we're referring to right now, being still, it means, right, being unwavering, being steadfast, right? So we're gonna show you that the words are gonna show you today that being still, right, is gonna refer to something much more bigger than just your bodily position, being still, being unmoved, right? So we're gonna go today. We're gonna go into the book of Joshua first, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and get into the lesson. We're gonna go into the book of Joshua, chapter 10. I'm gonna read verses 1 through 27. All right. And we're gonna give a more profound understanding, right, on what it means to be still. All right, let me know if you can hear me okay. All right. The book of Joshua. The book of Joshua, chapter 10, verses 1 through 27. All right, and it reads, now it came to pass when Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, had heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and her king. So he had done to Ai and her king, and how the inhabitants of Gibeon had made peace with Israel and were among them, that they feared greatly, because Gibeon was a great city. Gibeon had just made peace with Israel, right? As one of the royal cities, very renowned. And because it was greater than Ai, right? And all the men thereof were mighty. So they were strong men, they were fierce. They wasn't nothing to be taken lightly, but yet and still they didn't want no smoke with the Israelites. So they like, look, let's just make peace. Because up until this point, nobody ain't been able to come against these people and live. Nobody ain't been able to come against Israelites and live to tell the story about it. Nevertheless, they haven't had one single casualty in war. All right. But there was a specific point in time, right? Well, we did have some casualties because one of the men amongst Israel transgressed, right? But aside from that, right, when you read about the Valley of Achor, but aside from what happened during that time with the Valley of Achor and someone amongst our people, right, had stolen and transgressed the covenant of the Most High, up until that point in time, none of our people had went to battle and lost, right? So they were very afraid, and yet these were mighty men, right, who made this treaty. So, so it put everybody on notice, right? When we made this peace treaty, it put everybody on notice, right? They understood that, hey man, look, we got to do something, right? Give me one quick second. All right, y'all bear with me when it come down to reading these names. All right, bear with me for a hot second. Right, Achan, that's his name. I had to. Achan transgressed and took some silver and some gold and some garments that didn't belong to him. Right, it was just irking me. I had to get that name and make sure I was correct that this did occur slightly before we're reading chapter 10. This occurred around chapter 7. Right, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't misinform you. Nevertheless, verse 3, wherefore Adonizedek, king of Jerusalem, sent unto Hoham, king of Hebron, and unto Param, king of Jarmuth, and unto Japhiah, king of Lachish, and unto Debir, king of Eglon, saying, come up unto me and help me, that we might smite Gibeon, for it hath made peace with Joshua and with the children of Israel, right? So this is the king of Jerusalem, right, who's taking notice that we have made a peace treaty with Gibeon, and now they have greatly feared. So they trying to get many of the surrounding countries and kings to go to war against Israel and Gibeon with him. This is what the king of Jerusalem is doing. Right. Verse 5, therefore the 5 kings of the Amorites, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, the king of Eglon, gathered themselves together and went up, they and all their host, and camped before Gibeon and made war against it. And the men of Gibeon sent unto Joshua to the camp of Gilgal, saying, slack not thy hand from thy servant. So he's saying, look, I need your hands. Don't slack them. I need your hands to be moving right now. He said, come up to us quickly. Come, we need you. And save us and help us, for all the kings of the Amorites that dwell in the mountains are gathered together against us. So Joshua ascended up from Gilgal, he and all the people of war with him, and all the mighty men of valor. And the Lord said unto Joshua, fear them not. Don't fear the king of the Amorites, for I have delivered them into thine hand. There shall not a man of them stand before thee. And so this is the kind of position that we want to put ourselves in. We want to be favored amongst the Most High and His Son, the same way Joshua and the mighty men of valor were favored, right? It didn't matter if they were heavily outnumbered. It didn't matter to them. They understood the God that they served. They understood that their enemies could not stand before them. And it is no different with us today. We have enemies, right? Because of our God, the God of Israel, the God of Jacob, right? But even our enemies that try to come against us, the Most High won't give them a leg to stand on, right? And we will prevail. Nevertheless, I digress. Verse 9. Joshua therefore came unto them suddenly and went up from Gilgal all night. And the Lord discomfited them. So they had been battling all night. And the Lord discomfited them before Israel and slew them with a great slaughter at Gibeon and chased them along the way that goeth to Bethhoron, and smote them to Azekah, and unto Makkedah. I'm sorry. And it came to pass as they were fled before Israel. Let's see what happened. Let's see who finna get in on his action. And it came to pass as they fled from before Israel, as were in the going down to Bethhoron, that the Lord cast down great stones from heaven upon them unto Hezekiah, and they died. They were more which died with hailstones than they whom the children of Israel slew with the sword. So anybody coming up against us, look, that's a fight with the Most High. The Most High said they won't be able to stand before you. And see, it's imperative that I come before you today to keep this in your remembrance, because the Most High wants you to remember these things. To understand who your God is and His power is. He don't want you to doubt in Him. There was no doubt in Joshua and the mighty men of valor that were with him in those days. As long as they were obedient, they knew that the Most High taking care of them, that they ain't got nothing to worry about. And a lot of people I'm going to tell you the truth, a lot of people just flat out ain't going to understand it. A lot of people aren't going to be able to understand what guides you, what guides your choices, your morale. He told you will be a peculiar people. People sitting back looking at you like, man, what? I don't understand it. How is this possible? Even when some people, even when they have every reason in the world to be sad and to have a sad countenance, you see them still smiling. And people can't figure that out because that joy doesn't come from earth. Their joy comes from Christ. All right. So this is the Most High battle. Anybody coming up against us. We got to bear that in mind, but Joshua and the mighty men of valor knew they had to be obedient to the Most High in those days. So Most High said, I want the smoke too. I'm finna get in on this action too. And he slew more with hailstone than our people slew with swords. Verse 12, then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, he said this in front of everybody in Israel. Sun, he spoke to the sun in the sky. Stand thou still And that is where the title of the lesson comes from. Because a lot of people couldn't fathom that a man could tell the sun to stand still in the sky. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon, and thou moon in the valley of Hajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed. They didn't change its course. It stayed. All right. Until the people had avenged themselves upon the enemy. So they had been fighting all night. Fleeing, they had eventually fled. The Most High had to kill them off with hailstone. Right? So Joshua, you can't see an enemy in the dark. He don't want to do that. He trying to put his enemy away quick. So he commanded the sun to stand still. And the sun stood still and the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemy. Is it not written in the book of Joshua? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day. The sun stayed in the sky. And there was no day like that before it or after it. That is the only time that it has ever been done. Because of what was in Joshua's heart, and we're going to examine it today. We're going to examine what was in his heart. He says, and there was no day like that it or before it, that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man. He ain't never hearkened unto the voice of a man the same way he did Joshua. Because it was what was in Joshua's heart. His faith could not be moved. His faith in what the Most High could do was unwavering. It could not be shaken. And that is the point. That's the point that we got to work on ourselves. We got to get to that point that no matter what people say, no matter what people do, no matter what kind of doubt or fear come on other people, you got to make sure that doubt or fear is not in you. You got to make sure Joshua made sure he did whatever it took to keep the commandments that were delivered to his forefathers. He wasn't hearing none of that. He didn't care what man had to say. The only thing he cared about was what the Most High had to say, what the Most High had commanded him to do. And he loved his people, of course. Love was in his heart, right? And there was no day like that before it or after it that the Lord hearkened unto the voice of a man. For the Lord fought for Israel. Malachi 3:6 tells us that he done change. I am the Lord, I change not. We dealing with the same God. Who he fought for our people back then. What you think he gonna do for our people now? And Joshua returned, and all Israel with him unto the camp of Gilgal. But these 5 kings fled, the 5 kings of the Amorites, right? And hid themselves in a cave at Makkedah. And it was told Joshua, saying, the 5 kings are found in the cave at Makkedah. And Joshua said, roll great stones upon the mouth of the cave, and set men by it for to keep them. and and stay ye not, but pursue after your enemies. Don't stay. Leave them there. And smite the hindmost of them. Suffer them not to enter into the cities, for the Lord your God hath delivered them into your hand. And it came to pass, when Joshua and the children of Israel had made an end of slaying them with with a very great slaughter, till they were consumed, that the rest which remained of them entered into fenced cities. And all the people returned to the camp to Joshua at Makkedah in peace. None moved his tongue against any of the children of Israel. And see, the mistake that we make, this is the mistake that we make. We believe that this is forgotten about. We believe that the other nations forgot about this particular period in time. Well, no army, no king could come against us. That we were wrecking shop. And the most I had a problem with the people, go see about them. See, they remember that. And see, that's why they got to fight so hard to keep you out of a position to rule. Because they know the moment you start coming back into your God and praying to him, look, Saranara, that's all she wrote for rulership. And see, that's what's happening today. That's what's happening today in the earth. As we speak, the Most High is awakening his people. All right. I digress. Verse 22. No one spake anything against Israel. Then said Joshua, open the mouth of the cave and bring out those 5 kings unto me out of the cave. And they did so, and brought forth the 5 kings unto him out of the cave, the king of Jerusalem, the king of Hebron, the king of Jarmuth, the king of Lachish, and the king of Eglon. And it came to pass, when they brought out those kings unto Joshua, that Joshua called for all the men of Israel, and said unto the captains of the men of war which went with him, come near, come to me. Put your feet upon the necks of these kings. Who can say that? What manner of men can say that they've ever put their feet on the neck of a king before? And they came near and put their feet upon the necks of them. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, don't fear. That kind of stuff, that kind of leadership can't be taught. The most High didn't tell Joshua to do that. The Most High didn't tell Joshua, gather all Israel together and bring your mighty men. Bring the captains of the host of Israel and tell them to put your feet on their neck. The Most High didn't tell Joshua to do that. Joshua tried to instill faith in our people then, the same way he is trying to instill faith in you right now. Being dead and in his sepulchre, in his grave, he still speak. Because he was humble. Because he sought to glorify the Most High. And that's why he's remembered. King David sought to glorify the Most High. And that's why his name is remembered in the earth today. And Joshua said unto them, fear not, don't be afraid, nor be dismayed. Be strong. Be strong and of good courage. For thus shall the Lord do to all your enemies, against whom ye fight against. Not some, not a little bit. This is what the Most High gonna do to all your enemies whom you fight against. And afterward, Joshua smote them and slew them and hanged them on 5 trees. And they were hanged upon the trees until the evening. Until the evening. Until the evening. And it came to pass at the time of the going down of the sun that Joshua commanded and took them down of the trees and cast them into the cave wherein they had been hid, and laid great stones in the cave's mouth, where which remain until every day. The Most High be their grave, the place where they hid from him. Don't hide. The Most High didn't tell the king of Jerusalem they gather together all the kings of the Amorites and come against Gibeon and Israel. The Most High didn't tell him to do that. The Most High didn't tell the king of the Amorites agree with him to do that. That's a choice that they made with their own free will. And sadly enough, people are still choosing this until this very day. And because it's not plain, it's not in front of our eyes. Because it's being done indirectly and in some cases directly. Most of our people just turn a blind eye. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Man, I'm finna mind my business, man. They remain until in that cave until this very day. Their bones still remain. All right. I digress. Now we're gonna go over to the book of Psalms. And you see what the title of the lesson comes from: Stand Thou Still. Joshua commanded the sun to stand still. We're going to see the Most High didn't hearken unto any man the same way he did Joshua. And we're going to see why. Because most of us believe that the Most High won't be with us like he was with Joshua. Most of us, we really believe it. We'll tell ourselves, man, I wish the Most High would do something like that for me. I wish I could be favored like that by the Most High. As if though you're not an Israelite the same way Joshua was. Look, listen here. The Most High is no respecter of person. Whether you're an Israelite or not, he want to know you got faith in him that cannot be moved. He want to know that you got it made up in your mind. At a moment's notice, I'm ready to die for my God. From ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I know where my soul going. The earth gave me my body. She can have it back. I just want to make sure my soul safe with the Most High. And this is what pleases the Most High. Faith. The Most High looked at the faith that Joshua had in him. And that's why the Most High didn't hearken unto no man. The same way he hearkened unto the voice of Joshua. Because nobody will never be able to convince Joshua that it ain't nothing that the Most High couldn't do. To a lot of people, that sound crazy. Who else you seen had enough faith to tell the sun to stand still? I mean, of course, we understand the Messiah above all, Christ above all, right? But Christ was more than just a man. So we understand it, right? Joshua and Christ are nowhere to be compared to one another. No person that has ever lived is never ever to be compared to our Messiah. Right? Our Messiah was way much more than just a man. So we understand it. Exempt aside from our Messiah, right? That take a lot of faith, man. We just can't overlook that. That take a lot of faith, man. I digress. The book of Psalms, chapter 46. And our heritage is rich. Our people, we got a horrible resume, right? But we got an honorable one too. So the Most High want us to learn from the good and the bad, right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, will not we fear. And that's why Joshua said, fear not. Move. And though the face, you got to prepare your heart to say, look, man, whatever come before my sight, I don't care. I don't care. I will not fear. Even if the earth was removed out of its place, and the mountains were carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled in the sea, though the waters roar, though the mountains shake with swelling thereof, Salah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. Tabernacles is a tent, a dwelling place. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. And that's what it's saying when it say, be thou still. That the place where you stand with your faith in the Most High shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. He ain't gonna wait till it, like he already prepared. He gonna be there early to help his people. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. And you want to keep that with you every day. You want to keep that in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit. My God is my refuge. What do I have to feel? Give me 1 second. One quick second. Sweat water. All right. All right. When it was a famine in the land of Samaria, Elijah, the Most High had him get up and leave. But the Most High fed him. Ravens sent him food. And he drunk from the brook that was there. All right, got something flying around here. All right. The Most High is our refuge. He's going to take care of us. Come, behold the works of the Lord. What desolations he hath made in the earth. What the lands he have called to be desolate. Look at Sodom and Gomorrah. Look at Pompeii, the ancient city of Pompeii with the Romans. Look at what he hath caused to be desolate. For to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow. He break the bow. He bent back that bow to send that arrow. He cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God. And that's what he's saying. When he say, be still. Your faith in me cannot be moved. Know that I am God. Knowing that I'm the God of Jacob, that I'm your refuge, that I'm your help in time of trouble. That anybody coming against you, they coming against me too. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. The same way he was our refuge with Joshua and the mighty men of valor. Right? So we can't ever forget that. Right? And of course, we know Salah. Salah means forever. So the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge forever. You said I'm lagging? Let me see. Give me a sec. Let me see. All right. All right. What about now? Am I still lagging? All right. Let me know if I'm still lagging. Okay. All right. I digress. Now we're going to go back to the book of Joshua. Back to the book of Joshua, Joshua 24. All right. The book of Joshua, chapter 24. I'm going to read verses 14 and 15. So we're going to see why. We're going to see why it was no day like that. That the Most High didn't hearken unto any voice like how he did Joshua. The voice of any man like how he did Joshua. We're going to see why. The book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 14. Now therefore, fear the Lord and serve him in sincerity and in truth. We heard a song, whatever you do for the master, let it be real. Oh, let it be real. Just let it be real. Let it be sincere. Whatever you do for him, let it be in sincerity and in truth. And that's what it was with Joshua. Everything that he did with them for the Most High was with sincerity. He feared the Most High greatly. He feared breaking any of his commandments. But he loved them. He had a special and a unique relationship with the Most High. And put away the gods which your father served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, if it seem evil, if it seem wrong, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your father served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And that's why Joshua was able to command the sun to stand still. Because he himself stood still in his faith. Therefore, he could tell the sun to stand still. Right? He could command the sun to stand still because he himself stood still in his faith. What do you think the Most High want us to do now? Right? The book of Joshua 23. Let's just jump ahead to chapter 23. Right? And we're going to read verses 14 through 16. And behold, this day I am going in the way of all the earth. And you know in all your heart, you know this in all your heart and in all your souls, that not one thing has failed of all the good things which the Lord your God spake concerning you. And all are come to pass unto you. And not one thing have failed thereof, not one single thing that the Most High said that he was going to do for you, that he haven't done for you. Even prayers that I forgot about, the Most High brought it to pass. This ain't about me, because I'm not saying that sometimes. This is for me too. This is to make sure I stay focused. This is not to say that sometimes doubt don't try to creep in me too, and even feel. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that we got to fight to make sure our faith has no doubt, that it has no fear. Because time and time the Most High has been telling us not to doubt him nor to fear. Right? Not one single thing that the Most High told you he was going to do. He brought forth all the good things. Not one thing had failed thereof. Therefore it shall come to pass that all these good things are come upon you, which the Lord your God promised you. So shall the Lord bring upon you all evil things, until he have destroyed you from all this good land, which the Lord your God had given you. When ye have transgressed the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and have gone and served other gods, and bowed yourself to them, then shall the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and ye shall perish quickly off the good land which he hath given unto you. And that is exactly what happened. We forgot about the covenant that we made with him. So now the Most High is bringing it back into remembrance. He's saying, remember this covenant that you made with me. That covenant was sacred to Joshua. That covenant meant everything to him. He kept that covenant in their heart. He said, this is an agreement between me and my God that I made with the creator of heaven and earth. That meant everything to Joshua. Everything. And that's what the Most High is looking for in the earth. Who is going to keep my agreement? Who is going to keep my covenant? Not because they feel what I would do to them, but because they love me. Because they care about me. Because they want to please me. And this is why the Most High didn't hearken. In that day, there was no day before or like it that he hearkened unto the voice of any man the way he did Joshua because of it. Because of what was in Joshua's heart. He stood still in his faith. All right. Let's go to Psalms 4 and 4. As we get ready to close out, right? Let's go to Psalms 4 and 4. I'm sorry it was lagging. I had to turn the Wi-Fi off on my phone. I think that was really going on. The book of Psalms, chapter 4 and verse 4. And it reads, stand in awe, and sin not. And that's what Joshua sought to do. He stood in awe of the Most High. He was there to see him part the Red Sea. He was there to see him how he used his people to bring down the city of Jericho, to bring down the walls of Jericho. He was there to see it all. He was there to see the Most High part the Jordan River. He stood in awe, and he was careful not to sin. He kept the commandments. Sin is the transgression of the law. Sin is transgressing the Most High commandments. Not just the 10 commandments, but the ones which you can keep. The dietary laws, abstaining from the things he told you not to eat. These are simple things. The word says, oh no man, nothing but to love him. Simple things that the Most High is expecting us to do. All right. So stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart. Your own heart. Commune means to converse, to talk with, right? To be in company with. To commune in your own heart. That's what Joshua sought to do. Joshua spoke to the Most High. But let me go back to it, so we can be clear. So we can be clear about something. And the sun stood still, and the people. Hold up. Then Joshua spake to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel, and said in the sight of Israel. So he spoke to the Most High. He communed with the Most High in front of everybody, in front of Israel. He stood in awe. He sinned not. He communed. He talked with the Most High. So King David is encouraging us to do the same thing. To stand in awe of the Most High glory, to sin not, and to commune in the communal house. Commune with your own heart with sincerity and with truth. Like Joshua told us, to serve the Most High with sincerity and with truth. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Be thou still. Because right now it can seem like, Josh, you getting a little bit repetitious in your lessons. Faith is the very core of what we believe in. And I'm telling you, it's gonna come a point in time. The Most High, he try to hard. He try to reign. He gonna test your faith. Your faith is going to be put to the test at some point in time, just living alone. Naturally, organically, your faith is going to get put to the test. Aside from just the Most High trying your heart and trying the reins. We need these lessons. We need to make sure our mind is focused. We need these constant reminders. We have to learn of the days of old, prepare ourselves to search of our fathers, just like Job advised us to do in the book of Job, right? The Most High advised us to do in the book of Job. Nevertheless, we're gonna go to 2 Kings. 2 Kings. I thought the lesson probably gonna be 45 minutes, y'all. We're gonna go to 2 Kings, chapter 20. All right. Knowing me, I should have known. But we don't have very many precepts left. All right. 2 Kings chapter 20, I'm going to read verses 1 through 11. And it reads, in those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah, which is written of in the book of Isaiah, right? The prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, thus saith the Lord. I'm sorry, I didn't iterate something. And on Psalms 4:4, it says, commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. It's something very spiritual about praying in your bedroom, on your bed. There's something very spiritual about doing that. That's why because it implies rest. And we know that the Most High is the God of rest. Henceforth the Sabbath, a day of rest, right? So there are spiritual implications behind praying in your bed, on your bed, in your bedroom. Nevertheless, and the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, get your house in order, get your will prepared, what you're going to pass down to your children and therefore, and so on. For thou shalt die and not live. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked with thee, how I have walked before thee in truth, and sincerity, and with a perfect heart. That's what the Most High is looking for. And have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore, he was sad. This is Hezekiah, 2 Kings, chapter 20. I'm sorry about that, babe. I thought I said chapter 20. I'm sorry. 2 Kings, chapter 20. All right. So we know what's happening here. Isaiah prophesied the king Hezekiah, telling on the Most High, say you about to die. Set your house in order. So he turned his face to the wall and he prayed to the Most High. Right. And he said, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I've walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. He was sad, he cried. And it came to pass afore Isaiah was gone out into the midst, into the middle court, that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, turn again, turn back, and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus saith the Lord, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. I'm going to heal you. I'm going to heal you. On the third day, thou shalt go up unto the house of the Lord, and I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. Right. So this is what the Most High is gonna do. He doing it for his name's sake. If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face, is what he prophesied, and he told us in the days of King Solomon. Right? So he said, and Isaiah said, take a lump of figs. And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, what shall be the sign that the Lord will heal me, and that I shall go up into the house of the Lord the third day? What's going to be a sign? Give me a sign. What King Hezekiah said, never mind, the Most High already done prophesied to him to let him know this. Jacob looking for a sign. It still hold true to this day. We still be looking for signs, man. And we don't even know where that come from. That comes from the Most High knowing us. The Most High just know us that well, man. We gonna always look for a sign that he with us. And you know what he do? Let's see. Let the word speak to show what he do. And Isaiah said, this sign shalt thou have of the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing that he has spoken. So then what he at King Hezekiah. Then what you want to see a sign? Okay, this gonna be the sign that what the Most High gonna do for you. I'm gonna show you how powerful this is. He say, shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or back 10 degrees? Now he talking about the dial. You know, back in those days, you know, a dial was, that's how they could tell time, right? Because it had certain numbers, right? But it could, the shadow that it cast forth would let you know about what time of the day it is, how much daylight you have left throughout the day, right? So he said, shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or back 10 degrees? Shall the sun go up in the sky? Well, what people would consider up in the sky, or down low? Should the sun go? Should the sun rise some more? Should we get more daylight or less daylight? Should it go up 10 degrees? Should it dial? Should the shadow go up 10 degrees or down 10 degrees? Is what he's asking King Hezekiah. He said, you choose. You choose. You want to see a sign? The Most High gonna show you a sign. So he let him choose which sign. He didn't say it gonna go forward or go back. He wanted to make sure you know. You know, you want to see a sign that the Most High gonna be with you no matter what? Okay. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or back 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered it. He answered, it is a light thing. And Hezekiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. That's light. That's nothing. That's a light thing. But let the shadow return backward 10 degrees. Let it turn backward. Right? Which means the shadow will get smaller. Ain't nothing to see the shadow get cast and get larger. Let it get smaller. Let it go backward 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of the highs. And this is why the Most High say, I'm your God. I'm the God of Jacob, your refuge. I'm with you. This is what the Most High is looking for. This is what pleases the Most High. Faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. He want to know that no matter what circumstances you are faced in, no matter what, your faith will be unmoving. It's gonna be steadfast. It's gonna be still. That it cannot be moved. That is what the Most High is looking for in his people, especially now more than ever. So you want to see a sign? I'll show you a sign. And the Most High healed them like he said he was going to do. And he gave them 15 more years like he told Hezekiah he was going to do. He said he heard the Most High hear your voice. All right. All right. Now we're going to go back to the book of Psalms. The book of Psalms, chapter 62. All right, we're nearing the very, very end of the lesson. The book of Psalms, chapter 62. All right. And I'm going to read verse 1. Verse 1 reads, King David says, truly my soul waiteth upon God. From him cometh my salvation. And that's what we have to believe before anything. Sometimes we want things to be done in our time. We always hear, we've heard the term, the Most High may not come when you want to, but he always on time. Those for those who really got faith in the Most High. Who believe it and don't just say it. Many people just say it. The Most High want to know if you believe it. That it shall come to pass. And that's why King David is saying, truly my soul waiteth upon God. From him cometh my salvation, which is the same reason why in Luke, Christ telling us, in your patience possess ye your soul. Because it's about endurance. He that endures until the end shall be saved. Just a thing don't be done the way you want it to him and the time you want it to him. That don't mean that you got grounds to just turn your back and lose faith and start drawing back and starting to doubt. All right, we're going to close out in 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians. First Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 16 and 17. We're going to close out here. All right. And it reads, First Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 16 and 17. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel. And that's exactly what we went over with the lesson that was prepared a couple of days ago. Prophecy came, right? With the trumps that was blowing, right? And Christ having that sickle in his hand, and that the harvest was right. It was ready. It was time to reap, right? So it's the same thing that's taking place. You know, around the time that the Most High will gather his elect, if you looked at the lesson, you know exactly what I'm referring to. Right? Paul is referring to this also. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. So shall we ever be with the Lord. And that's what our main focus should be. Being with him always. Never departing from him. Never allowing our faith that one day we'll be able to be partakers of this. Whether we're dead or alive when Christ comes. We'll know we'll be caught up in the air to meet Christ. Right? We'll be caught up together with them in the clouds. Right? To meet the Lord in the air. That is what we're fighting for. That is why we have to be still. Correct. Emphasis on remain. Right? So there's going to be people that remain when Christ returns. But he said he didn't show in the day no flesh would survive. That's the way the adversary really wanted. He that's his ultimate goal, really. To kill off all flesh. Those who are bidding for him, they don't realize that they're being deceived. But it isn't an excuse for them either. Because they know about the God of this book. They know about that God. They know about when Joshua commanded the sun to stay still. Right? Our faith in him has to be still now and forever. Forever. If our faith is still in him now, he won't just reward us now. He's going to reward us forever. So, in conclusion, be thou still. May the glory, may you all who have watched this video glorify the Most High with your faith. May the peace and may the grace of our Messiah rest upon you all who have watched this video. And may the Most High be with you all. Amen.